Hey guys, so today for math we are going to be doing centimeters and meters. And this is just another way to measure. So in the United States we use inches, feet, and yards most of the time, but many other countries around the world use centimeters and meters. So centimeters are a small unit of measurement. 1 centimeter is actually smaller than 1 inch. So we said a paperclip was about 1 inch. Well, 1 centimeter is about like how skinny a paperclip is, or how skinny your pinky nail is. And I'll show you pictures in a second. 1 meter is slightly larger than 1 yard, so it's just another way of measuring. And 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So that's kind of easy to remember. Our measurement in the United States is hard to remember. You got to remember 12 inches in a foot, and then 3 feet or 36 inches in a yard. That can get kind of confusing. Theirs is easier because it's 10 millimeters in a centimeter and then 100 centimeters in a meter. So it kind of just makes it easier that things are tens and hundreds in their measurement. All right, 1 centimeter, like I said earlier, is about the width of your pinky finger, or about the width, which is how wide a paper clip is. So there are some 2 pictures showing you. So the abbreviation for centimeter is cm. And then the little tick marks between are millimeters. And like I said earlier, there are 10 of them. So the halfway point would be 5. If it's past the halfway point, it's closer to the bigger number. If it is not, it's closer to the smaller number. And then 1 meter. So they do make meter sticks. I do not have one at my house, and I forgot to go get one from school. So I kind of Googled it and marked off where a meter would be. So a meter would be about where the bottom of my sticky note is. It's slightly over 39 inches. So here is comparing a yardstick on the left with a meter stick on the right. They're both larger units of measurement. You wouldn't want to use them to measure a book or a pencil or something small. You want to use them to measure bigger items. So yes, a yard is slightly bigger than a meter, and it is 100 centimeters. All right, so here are some items that are about 1 meter in my house. So the first picture is a terrible example of measuring, but I could not measure and take a picture at the same time, so that's going to have to kind of work. But the height of my picture up and down in my living room is about 1 yard. And then there's a picture of an ottoman, and the ottoman also is about 1 yard. So it's from the end of the stick to the sticky note. It's not to the end of it. All right, and then here's kind of the packet for today that I'm going to go over. So I'm going to go through the top, and then I'll go through some questions that I liked. So it says you can use a ruler or a meter stick to measure length. The button is about 1 centimeter long. So that's like a small button is about 1 centimeter. So a small unit of measurement. A meter is about if you're taking a large step, and she's just reminding you there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. So you hear meter when you're talking about like races or like the Olympics and things, kind of talks about that. And then if you measure, it's always good to estimate ahead of time. So they estimated that the cube was 3 centimeters long, but it actually is not past the halfway mark. So it is closer to 2 centimeters. And the abbreviation, like you can see up there, is just cm. You don't have to have a period. Doesn't have to be capitalized, anything like that. All right, so the first part is similar to what your quiz will be. There won't be pictures in your quiz, but it'll just have examples, and you'll have to know what's best to measure with or what kind of is around that length. So 1 centimeter, it might say what item is about 1 centimeter, and it might list a paperclip, a large truck, a table, or a crayon. So 1 centimeter is like your pinky finger, so it's going to be the width of a paperclip. 10 centimeters is next. That's still pretty small, and it's about 10 pinky fingers, so I know that's definitely not a real truck. My table is definitely way too big for that. So the next closest thing that's small would be about a crayon. It's about 10 centimeters. Next, we have 1 meter. 1 meter is about like the length of my picture, similar to a yard, so big, but not taller than me, so I definitely know it can't be a real truck. So 1 meter is going to be about the table. And then 10 meters is going to be very big, so I'm going to pick the biggest item, which is the truck. All right, the do you understand says, would it be easier to use centimeters or meters to measure the length of a house? Why? So if you're measuring small items, you want to use centimeters. So if you're measuring a book or a pencil or a highlighter or a sticky notepad or your phone, you would want to use centimeters for all of those items because they're smaller. And then if you're measuring a bigger item like a truck or your yard or things like that, you would use meters. So since the length of your house, like how long your house is probably pretty big, meters would definitely be the better guess for that, because measuring that with centimeters would be a lot harder. So if we're measuring something big like a house, meters would definitely be the one to go with. All right, I'm going to skip 5 through 8 because those are just measuring items, and you can practice measuring your house around your house if you have a centimeter or meter stick. Number 9 says, John says that his toy truck is about 6 meters long. Do you think this is a good estimate? Why or why not? So 6 meters, I know, is way taller than me. Like 2 meters is way taller than me. So 6 meters would definitely be way too big. So 6 meters is a terrible estimate. It is not good because that's like probably 6 meters is like maybe the size of my car, bigger than my car. So definitely not a good estimate for a toy truck. A toy truck is going to be smaller. I guess it depends how small you're talking. Like a little Hot Wheels car might be about 6 centimeters, but if you have bigger ones, might be, I don't know, 30, 40 if you have little larger ones. So it is not a good estimate because 6 meters would be way too big is what you need to know. All right, last 2 questions I want to go over. Number 10 says, Mr. Gavin has a ladder that is 100 centimeters tall. Mrs. Cornell has a ladder that is 2 meters tall. Whose ladder is taller? So if I remember correctly in the past, a lot of people just immediately see 102 and they think, oh, 100 is bigger, much bigger than 2. So the answer is Mr. Gavin because he's 100, but that's not correct. So centimeters and meters are not the same thing, so you can't compare them. You have to have the same thing. So 100 centimeters is actually 1 meter. So Mr. Gavin's ladder is 1 meter. Miss Cornell's ladder is 2 meters. So now you can compare, and Miss Cornell has the taller ladder. So Miss Cornell. And last one I'm going to want to go over, which animal is about a centimeter long. So that's like your pinky nail. A skunk is definitely too big. A snake is definitely too big. So we're left with 2 kind of bugs. I would say a worm is definitely longer than a centimeter. So whatever that tiny little bug on the end is what I would go with. So centimeters, teeny tiny, about a pinky nail. Meters are probably about y'all's heights. I guess that can kind of help. I know y'all are all different heights, but they're bigger, but not huge. So that's kind of how you can remember that.